Welcome back to Don't Panic. I'm your hostess, Sapphire Quarter. The first Republican presidential debate just took place and it was everything you would expect it to be, except for one interesting detail. Also, the leader of the Wagner Group, the mercenaries that just marched on Moscow, recently died in a plane crash 2 months after him and Putin made nice. Already confused? You don't know the half of it. And officials in Hawaii just released their list of missing people after the devastating wildfires in Hawaii. But don't worry, it's not all bad news because a Maui giraffe in a private zoo just gave birth to a baby whose coloring is so unique. Experts say she's the only giraffe in the whole world to look like this. So the first Republican presidential debate just took place. It was an hour and a half long and we learned lots of valuable things like nothing. Literally nothing. See, when I hear the word debate, I imagine two people sitting down and having a civil conversation where each one airs their views and then we work together to find the truth of the matter. And instead, I got an episode of Jerry Springer.
We need to bring stage tonight.
Come over and give me a hug. Give me a hug just like you did to Obama.
You've been pushing this lie all week, Nikki.
Haley, can you be a little...
The false lies of a
Haley, when both of you guys are talking at the same time, I can't hear either one of you.
professional competition. There you have it.
Your watch,
So the reality...
You don't care? You just want me to know you're upset? Okay. Do you guys know who Jerry Springer is, by the way? Me and my dad were debating it. He's the one that helped me with that joke. So as usual, candidates just stated various variations on Republican talking points and dodged questions.
DeSantis, do you believe that Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th?
So here's what we need to do. We need to end the weaponization of these federal agents.
But that's not
and
the
I will do
question.
that.
That's not the question.
Here, I know, but
DeSantis, you just admitted you dodged the question.
If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
Okay, good. A yes or no question. We're finally going to get a direct answer from everyone. Christy, what the heck does that mean? There's only two things that really stood out to me. One, Trump wasn't there, probably because he was too busy being indicted. He's in the middle of 4 trials right now, guys. I feel like if I was in the middle of one trial, I would be a mess. I would be in my bathtub, eating chocolate, watching My Little Pony's Friendship is Magic every day. How much legal trouble has Trump been in? 4,095 lawsuits? You would forget them. Wait, okay, scratch that. You wouldn't know how many lawsuits you were in at any given time. I would never sleep. Anyways, Trump was not at the debate, but someone that you might have never heard of kind of took his place. So these candidates understand that in order to get a shot at the presidency, they have to beat Trump. So naturally, you would expect them to kind of attack him or maybe DeSantis, who was there and is second in the race. Instead, they decided to go after Ramaswamy. You guys haven't heard of him? You're not the only ones.
Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage?
He stood out because he didn't come across as much of a politician than the others. He made himself out to be a man who is not going to be controlled by the status quo and understand what the people want. And that's the kind of things that got Trump so popular not long ago. He's third in popularity right now, and while Pence was actively getting booed,
we don't need to bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience.
People cheered after Ramaswamy spoke.
Listen, now that everybody's gotten their memorized, pre-prepared slogans out of the way, we can actually have a real discussion now. The reality and the fact of the matter is...
Will he rise to prominence and have the honor of getting sued 4,000 times? He's still young, we'll see. Next up, Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner Group, has killed himself. Oh wait, I'm sorry, he died in a plane crash. My bad, I confuse the two when it comes to Russia, you know. So for a bit of background, Wagner is a group of mercenaries that recently marched on Moscow, which of course threatened Putin's power. While this was going on, Putin said that the Wagner rebels would be punished as traitors. Ugh. But then Putin kind of seemed to forgive Prigozhin. He was like, we forget the whole thing. I banish you from Russia. You go to Belarus. I don't feed you to bear. Here things get crazy, so stay with me. Just 2 months later, Prigozhin was on a plane going from Moscow to St. Petersburg with 6 other key members of the Wagner Group and 3 crew members. Now, I'm not very good at geography, but last time I checked, Belarus is not on a plane going from Moscow to St. Petersburg, but what do I know? So what were they doing there? According to Lou Osborne, who is an author on the upcoming book about the mercenaries, quote, "The decision to put so many senior-level people on one plane was a poor decision." He went on to say, Prigozhin was feeling overconfident. He might have genuinely been made to feel like he was pardoned. So what happened? What were they doing on that plane? Actually, according to AP, we don't even know what the purpose of the flight was. It'd be really funny if they were going to watch Barbie or something, and that's why no one could ever figure it out. It was like top secret information that the Wagner group wanted to go see Barbie. Russian says it had absolutely nothing to do with the plane crashing, but almost no one in the West buys that. With Brigadier General Pat Ryder, who is also the Pentagon spokesperson, saying that it is, quote, likely Prigozhin was killed. So why would Putin kill Prigozhin after seemingly coming to an understanding with him and even pardoning him? I don't know that I entirely know the answer to that, but according to the New York Times, Putin pardoning Prigozhin made him seem weak. I mean, Prigozhin almost unseated him after all, but it makes sense why he might have wanted to let Prigozhin go, because Prigozhin was really useful to him. Quote, "The Kremlin appears to be sending the message that no degree of effectiveness and achievement can protect someone from punishment for violating Mr. Putin's loyalty." We're almost to the good news, but first I want to talk about the list of missing people that the Hawaii officials have just released after the recent wildfires. It had 388 names on it. They hope that by releasing the names, they can help find these people. John Pelletier, Maui's police chief, said, "We also know that once those names come out, it can and will cause pain for folks whose loved ones are listed." They have a larger list of over 1,000 names that they're waiting to release. The current death count from the fires is at 115. But luckily for you guys, we're starting the good news a little bit early for today. Now, I don't know how many of you remember the Camp Fire, but it burned down a town in California called Paradise, as well as the surrounding area. I was really close to where it took place, and I actually had to evacuate. Right after the Camp Fire took place, there was a list released of about 1,000 missing people, and luckily every single one of those people was found safe and sound. So fingers crossed that it's a similar situation in Hawaii. My heart, of course, goes out to everyone affected. Now moving on, think about what a giraffe should look like and compare it to Bright Zoo's cute little calf. Ironically, according to experts, the lack of spots will make her easier to spot because a giraffe's coloring is a form of camouflage. Camouflage? Giraffes are so big, I feel like you'd be able to see them even if they were invisible. Calves of this color are so rare that according to the Washington Post, according to the zoo, experts think that she is the only calf colored like that in the entire world. They're still trying to figure out what to call the little cutie. They've narrowed it down to 4 names. I'm going to put them on screen for you guys. I was going to try to pronounce them, and then I tried to pronounce them. I think I got the last one, Jamalia. If you have a suggestion, you can go to Facebook and leave a comment for which name you think she should be called. And the results of the polling comes out on September 4th. That's all the news I have for you guys today. We'll talk about all the new craziness that comes out next time. I wanted to thank everyone who liked and commented and subscribed and watched. Because of you guys, the channel gets to keep moving forward. So thank you so much. I love you all. Bye.